What's up, guys?
What's
Back on the podcast. Good morning. Actually, good afternoon. It's 12:01.
Yeah.
No longer good morning.
Yeah, we were supposed to start at 10 o'clock.
Hey, but we got
Whoa. Who slept in?
done.
Whoa. We still got here at 9:30.
Okay.
Allie, I think your phone's
Idiot.
too close to the podcast thing, so it's making little bobbly sounds. So, yeah. Thank you.
Idiot.
It feels so good to be back in here, you guys.
Yeah, it's hot as butt cheeks outside.
It's
Yeah?
true.
Wait. Yeah, we're recording. I had a low-key fear that I just turned it on and I didn't hit record.
We'll get smoother at this.
Hey, you guys want to know a really fun fact? So the last podcast that we did,
Yeah.
you guys remember it early in the morning
Yeah.
before you guys decided to go to Cali?
Yes.
Do you remember how it was like super out of it?
Yeah.
Very quiet.
Because you ate the
Yeah.
M&Ms.
So I was sick the whole rest of the day.
Are you serious?
Yeah, literally was bedridden for the rest of the day.
Oh my God.
I went right after you guys left. I went back to bed and I didn't get up until like 6 p.m.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was bad. So if any of you guys are listening to the previous podcast than this one and you're like, I think Remy's depressed. I was not. I ate like a month-old peanut M&Ms that were in my backpack. I was stupid. I don't know why. They weren't like packaged, because if they're packaged, they'd be fine. But it was because they were like from a bowl that I grabbed and threw in a Ziploc bag. So they were from like hands that touched it. So just bacteria was just building up on it and just, it was pretty bad.
Yummy.
But then I think Alyssa got sick too. Well, she got way worse than me the next day, 2 days later. Yeah. She might have meningitis. I don't
Did you
really know.
give her the same peanut M&Ms like the day after?
Yeah, I was
"Hey, babe,
like,
try these. They're really good.
snacky.
She made you mad one day and you're like, babe, I got you these M&Ms.
I made you cookies.
There's just M&Ms in them.
Have one. Well, there's so many peanut M&Ms. Guys, don't worry about it. I bought a lot. How you guys doing today? Well, first off, let me just introduce to anyone that's new to the podcast. My name is Remy, and with me is Big Spoon and Little Spoon. It's up to you to decide who is which.
It switches.
This is the Ask Us Why
Switches.
podcast. This is actually the Vessels podcast, a part of Ask Us Why, a Christian apparel line that is designed to support, disciple, and mobilize believers in the next young generation to share Jesus and bring him to the world. And on this podcast, we talk about everything that is relatable and unrelatable and pointless and very much so relevant. So whatever podcast it is, we hope that it just brings some kind of benefit to you guys. But on today's episode, I don't know what we're talking
Are
about.
men allowed to be the small spoon?
That's the topic.
That's the question.
Which if Connor was doing it, I think you'd say yes.
I would agree.
Yeah.
I would say that is perfectly fine. I would say it's encouraged, honestly.
Okay. Like you would like to see like a rise up.
I'd like to see more men
Be Little Spoon.
be Little Spoon and be okay with being Little Spoon.
Yeah.
You know, we should not be
You
discouraged.
shouldn't be ashamed.
We should be strong in who we are in the Little Spoon.
And that's the end of the podcast. So if you need any help
If you need help being encouraged, just message me.
at connormedea@gmail.com.
Just got a Gmail like a couple months ago. I didn't know how to set it up before that. So
What are we talking about? Sorry, I've been on my social media.
Oh.
you kind of do that a lot.
You
What's
know
your
what?
screen time every day?
Hey, let's not talk about that, bro. Let's not talk about that, bro.
Speaking of social media, Wouldn't that
Speaking of it,
wouldn't you think that'd be a good topic?
yeah, let's talk about social media then, shall we?
I thought we were
How
talking-
Connor has an issue with it,
Yeah,
and
God,
we really
Connor's
need to address it.
addicted.
If
This is
anybody has
actually an
issue with
intervention.
it, it's not me.
Oh, that was such a
That's
humble
a
statement.
cold call out.
Probably did have an
It's
issue
getting
with it.
hot
now,
in here.
Now I do not because I got myself under control.
Wow.
And someone else hasn't.
Yeah, apparently. Whoa, hold on. Excuse me. I thought we were like batting.
would
I
say
thought we were
there's-
like going up against Remy, and then Remy looked at me.
A couple people in here.
Cooper, it's you.
He's so
He does have his own
innocent.
Instagram, doesn't he?
No,
Oh.
we're not going to be that parent
Yeah,
couple.
thank God.
Okay.
I don't want to be that. That's
Yeah.
no. If we like actually become legit adventure like couple where we have a van and we drive all over the country, then sure. But I'm not going to go make him an Instagram, take pictures of him, and put them on my feed. I already have enough Instagrams I need to run. I don't need another one of just a dog. Just like, look at how cute mine is. Be jealous. I spent a lot of money on him.
Yeah. people
Don't do it.
People who are our friends who like follow me on their dog pages, I'm like, that's cool. I'm not following it back.
The only one I will follow, and this is a low key shout out, is to Max and Murph, which is my buddy Kyle, and his 2 dogs are hysterical, and he does funny videos with them all the time.
That's cute.
They just have great personalities, so they're pretty funny. But it's not like, whatever. Anyways, social media. We got to talk about it. It's an issue in this world today.
Right.
We got some concerns we got to
No,
bring
it's
up.
not.
Allie, we really set up this podcast to just talk about you and your problem you have with social media.
I,
Connor, if you want to flip open the notes that you didn't show her.
oh my God. Just becomes an intervention. Oh my God.
Where's the banner? Where's the intervention banner?
I'm just kidding.
Hang it up.
On a real note, though, social media is there like some pros to this stuff? Because I know that we talk about a lot how like it's bad, and like we'll talk about those things eventually, sure. But like social media is something very new. It's only been around for the last couple of decades. Facebook was kind of the first to pioneer it. Well, I mean, MySpace and some of those other platforms really were.
Club
but
Penguin.
honestly, yeah,
Webkins.
Yep. I did have a Webkins. I didn't do Club Penguin, but
I
I
had
a
like 3
load of
Webkins at some point.
I had like 27.
Me and my
So,
brother would fight to be on the computer to play Webkins like after school.
I didn't know boys
I think you
played
guys
Webkins.
still do that.
So fun.
I wonder if it's actually still like a thing
is.
today.
It
Really?
is,
it? Good for them. I'm glad they're still in business.
I do think there are pros to social media, though.
All right. Elaborate. What kind of pros do you think there are?
I think that it's really cool to keep in touch with people. Like there are people that I knew in like grade school that I find on there, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like you have a life now, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or it becomes like about art stuff, like artistic things, because you can design like different photos. Like people got really into those pictures that like you just color in the color of what it is. You know what I'm talking about? Like if you take a picture of someone, you just color in like yellow for their hair.
Oh.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it becomes artistic. You can also document your life. You can put like words to a photo and like have it on your profile and keep it forever. And like be able to look back and be like, oh my God, I look so much better than I did like in 2010.
I definitely got uglier, so that's just you.
Oh,
I've always been ugly. So I think the biggest pro for social media for me is posting after the Suns win to make fun of all the Clippers fans. Or
I didn't know where
Lakers
he was going with
fans or
that.
the Nuggets fans or the next series. The Hawks or the Bucks.
Suns and 5, baby.
Suns and 5 maybe.
But there are pros to it.
We're having a watch party night at my house. If you guys want to come, my address is...
The watch party will be over by the time you hear this, but you can still come over. Just don't even knock. Just we'll send you the address. Just walk in.
Yeah. If you need the address, you can just email me at connormedea@gmail.com. Okay, yeah, I like those pros. Those are really good pros. Connor, do you have any more pros other than your stupid little NBA one?
I don't know why it's stupid. It's kind of the biggest. How much I'd spend my time on social media, just looking through the comments.
You're not the person to have on this
Sports.
episode then.
No, I used to spend way too much time on it, and I thought it wasn't like a big thing. Like I thought it was perfectly fine because nobody really checks each other on that. You know, like how can you really, unless you bring it up to like one of your friends, like what are they going to say? Like,
Yeah.
Hey, are you spending too much time on Instagram? Like that's not something that comes up in conversation, and so. I think in our heads, like most of it is probably a pro for us, like because we don't know any better or we don't really realize it or don't want to realize it.
Very true. Yeah, I wrote down a few things. Community and connection, because definitely can be a platform that you can create community. I mean, that's exactly why Ask Us Why exists, is to have community. And to keep up with, you were saying, like with friends that are like younger, you were raised up with and stuff. I had I've had a few friends that I've reconnected with through social media that way. And it is
Right.
kind of cool.
Because
Because
at that time they didn't have a phone number.
my favorite part, honestly, is that like some of these guys I haven't seen since like the 6th grade. So I'm like, what do they look like now?
Right. You get
So
to
you pull it up and some of them gain like 45 like pounds more than what they should be.
Oh.
And then the other ones are like way different. And you're like, whoa. Like there was one guy I knew, and this is the complete opposite. He used to be the skin and bones dude. Just straight up was skinny, skater, like big drug dude. And so I found his Instagram a few years ago, and the dude became jacked. Like straight up put on like 60 pounds of muscle.
I feel like I
And
know who you're talking about.
do you know him? His name's Seth.
Oh.
Did he go to Sunrise?
No, this
Oh,
is back
okay.
in Oregon.
Okay, then there's a different
Yeah.
guy who went to high school with us and did
Oh.
the same thing.
I probably know what you're talking about too, though. But straight up, like, I was like, whoa. Can you imagine? Like, so when I came, it was J Dip too. So when I saw J Dip coming from
Shout
the
out
military, he was in the army. Still in the
Is
army?
the guy?
No.
I think he's technically in the reserves right
Okay, he's in the
Have I
reserves.
met him?
Yes, you have.
Yeah.
Oh.
First time I saw him coming out of high school into college, I was
He
like,
was a distance runner, and then he put on some
yeah.
muscle.
He used to be a
get
cross country skinny
there.
boy, and then he put on mass. And the next time I saw him, I was like, hey, buddy.
The guy that we had dinner with that one time?
Yeah, he was in the
I
National
can't
Guard.
imagine him being skinny.
Crazy. Anyways, point is that like it's cool to like be able to reconnect with people you haven't
Point
seen
is,
in a long
J-Dip,
time.
you're hot now.
Yeah.
I mean, you were always hot.
Oh, it's
but-
like
Hope you're
that's-
listening to this. I put on there Keep Up with Friends all across the world. I think that's pretty cool because like we've obviously like done stuff over in Zambia, so like it's cool that we can connect with like the pastors and with Jack and Amber after when we're way back over here, and you don't have to do a phone call or have to send a pigeon that's gonna fly, 1,700 miles. No, way more than that. Definitely like 7,000 miles.
Yeah.
So that's really cool, and I like that too. I wrote down reach people and have influence. I talk about even like entertainment because I mean that is kind of fun. Like nowadays with TikTok and like Reels, it's like, dude, I love a good laugh. If you want a good laugh, you just go on Instagram.
Right.
You're gonna find something. As long as that's like how the algorithm works for you. If you're the type like
Me and the
if you're
boys
not,
have
you're
like
kinda
just
dark.
a meme group chat on Instagram.
That's what's up. There you go. And then I also said keeping up with the world and where it's going. So you could go through like news sources, but news sources typically control what you see. So if you
Right.
usually follow friends or other accounts that try to, diversify the information or at least bring it together in a better picture for you, so you're not like getting just one side of a story, that's a good place. But you can also kind of see what's going on with the world because typically there's trends and people talk about things, and obviously there's a lot of crap that went on last year. So it's a place where you get to see what like people are talking about and what's going down.
Something I found interesting though is it was, and I don't know if this is with everything, but
Yeah.
if it is, it works for this too. It was way easier to think of negative things about social media. And it was like, I sat there and I was like, what are some pros? And I was like, I just kept like expanding on those like 3.
Right.
Whereas cons, I'm like, oh God, because there's a lot.
What?
Like there's
So,
a lot of cons. I
all
would
right,
say
what are-
con. Sorry,
Oh,
I
I
know
was
that's your
like,
nickname.
what?
I'm sorry.
I mean, you are negative, but all right. So what are some cons that you think of right away with social media?
I think of comparison.
Uh-huh.
I think a lot of pride comes out of it. Insecurity, which we just did a podcast on, can also be pride. But it brings about a lot of insecurity, expectation, assumptions, jealousy, and then it causes a lot more problems with like the porn industry and things like that. So
Yeah.
it just unravels. Like it just continues. It's
Totally.
a never-ending spiral.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think when it comes to like faith life, like cons on social media, one thing that I've learned is it's really easy and it's almost encouraged in a way for like Christians or Christian communities to get like their fill of like spiritual things just from like Instagram or from like Instagram posts or from like the stories that like their church post. And it's like you stop like listening to the whole sermon or you stop going to church and you're like, I'll just do online church or I'll just look at the Instagram. Or it's when somebody posts like a verse, like either on their story or on their post or something. And it's like, we're kind of just cherry picking verses. And it's like, I'm going to read the Bible on Instagram today. I'm not going to actually open it,
Right.
whether it be on my phone or actually like your paper Bible. Like I'm just going to do my devotions
Right.
on Instagram. And it's like, this is not necessarily healthy.
Well, we also cherry pick what we post. Or what we put, like we'll have like people have like a Bible. This is one of my pet peeves. I'm really sorry. But like when people have a Bible verse in their bio and then all their pictures are bikini photos. And I'm like, this doesn't add up. So
I
I'm
found
like,
some like Christian influencers that's literally all they do. And I was like, why do you have Jesus in your bio?
because you're wearing his name. And then I'm like, and then that.
I really need to stop posting so many bikini
Dude,
photos.
I didn't
you
mean to call
remember
him
the
out like
post that.
that.
you sent me? The
Oh,
the
yeah,
post?
yeah.
Yeah. So did Connor tell you about that?
She read it, yeah.
Oh,
That post.
yeah,
So I commented back on it
thought
being
when
like,
you
no,
sent you a
like
bikini photo.
it was the modesty one. Like this post for anyone that's confused. There was a post out there that a woman was putting out saying like, you can just wear whatever you want. Like this whole like modest is hottest like phrase is stupid.
You're
Like
telling people that they need to be hot. Like and that's not the goal. Yeah.
Yeah, all that stuff. Anyways, so I had commented on it saying
And it was
like,
a Christian like
yeah,
person.
Christian like influencer.
Hashtag like feminism in
but
churches.
she's big time feminist. But she was just like trying to promote this, and I was like, I think this is wicked. Like our job is for both male and female to take care of each other as brothers and sisters. Like let's look out for each other. Sure, like you can blame the other person and tell them like, well, it's not my problem that like the shoulder makes you lust or something. It's like at the
is your
same
problem.
time, like we need to
Go listen
like,
to our modesty podcast.
yeah, just listen to our Modesty
Shout out.
podcast. Anyways, she blocked me like almost instantaneously and deleted my comment because I told Connor and he was like, I can't find it. And I went, well, let me check on that. Post unavailable. It's like, well, there's another con of social media or a pro, maybe.
Right.
I don't know. You got to control what people see.
That's the thing. It's all you tinker it. Like you get to make it what you want. Like no one.
Well, you can pick who you have conversations with.
Yeah.
And if somebody you don't like what they're talking about, you don't have to talk to them.
You can block them and report them, which can also suck because sometimes people do it. They take advantage of it for the wrong reasons.
Right.
So that's being abused.
Right.
So we also can like choose and cherry pick the photos we post. We always post more of like a perfect life, you know,
Or you edit photos and
edit photos, edit your body, like how it looks, change colors of, I see this a lot. And honestly, like it's cool, but also at the same time, it's like, it kind of robs the experience. I see a lot of nature photos that look incredible places. And then I go to those places, doesn't look like that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I literally had this image in my head of like what this looked like. And then I show up and I'm like,
it's like you got catfished by nature.
literally, I got catfish by nature because
the
guys
same thing.
decide to just change how everything looks, and it's like cool. I understand it's an art, but at the same time, like, is it doing justice to like nature if you're gonna like
And that's
manipulate
what's
all the
hard.
images?
Yeah, because it's fun. Like
Yeah.
even my friends have me edit their photos all the time with like my presets or anything else, and I sit there and I'm like, it's an art, like it's fun, and then I'm like, but I'm also completely altering
Yeah,
what you look like to a degree.
true. Yeah.
That's a
so,
whole nother conversation.
so question for you guys. I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this. Is so how much do we think Instagram or social media in general is causing these issues, and how much of it is revealing the issues that we already have?
Here's the thing.
That's a really good question.
I don't think social media causes any of these things. Social media is just the medium to these things. Like the sinful heart is always going to be the root of the problem.
Right.
And so it's like, money. Like money is used for good. Money can be also the root of many evil things.
Right.
And it's like nothing is inherently evil except evil in sin itself. And so we can go all day about how there's so many cons to Instagram or to social media, and then there can be so many people using it for the gospel and using it for good. And so there's always two sides to the problem or to the equation.
I would agree, and I think like we give it that power over our lives, like with comparison and stuff like that. Like when you post a photo and you want those likes, like you're giving Instagram the power. Instagram has no stronghold over you.
Yeah.
Or at least it shouldn't. I'm going to say it doesn't. But you give it that power to ruin your day, make your day, control your day. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So question then to follow up with that.
Okay.
When people take their 2-week breaks, they take a month break, they take a 6-month break, whatever it is from social media, because they feel like those are problems that are coming up in their lives. Do we think that it's wise of what they're doing, or do we think that they're not realizing where the problem is really coming from and they're not actually fixing the problems, so they're doing it repeatedly?
See, this is what gets me, because I understand, and I know I don't know everyone's struggle with Instagram, but going on a break due to you can't help yourself. Like you look at bad images, whatever, or going off because you are just comparing and it's despairing you. It's like causing you to have these insecurities, blah, blah, blah. It does make me a little upset because it's not Instagram's fault.
Yeah.
You're following those accounts.
Right.
You choose to look at those things. If people don't bring you joy, get rid of that.
Yeah.
If it hurts you to look at it, like I just hate seeing people give Instagram that power, because in taking that break, you're saying, I have no control.
Right.
So I can't be here. If that's the case, delete the whole thing. But even then it's like, it shouldn't have that much power over you. It shouldn't. At the end of the day, you are choosing to be insecure. That's a choice.
So social media platforms just want to feed you what you're going to eat.
Right.
And they want you to stay on their platform as long as you can.
Right.
So if all I follow is cat memes and like Deuteronomy memes
not
and
what I
just
thought
Christian
you were
memes
That's a
and
good
stuff,
one. That's a good one.
then that's all I'm going to see on the platform
Exactly.
constantly. If I'm into politics and I'm on the left side or I'm on the right side, and I follow a bunch of those
That's all you're
accounts.
gonna see.
That's all I'm going to see.
Same with sports.
Same with sports. If you're a big sports guy. So all I see on my Instagram,
I
know it is.
I see is sports. I see tons of ESPN. I see
Right.
Sports Center. I see NBA. I see NFL. Like I see all those constantly. I follow this account called Break Ankles Daily. That's a basketball one. I literally just get sucked into these videos nonstop. And it's like, well, obviously, because the algorithm knows I'm going to feed you what you like. So you're going to be like, oh, just one more video. And you're like, but I like this video. Because if you saw a bunch of videos you didn't like, you get off the platform.
Exactly.
So that's what like social media is doing. So I like that point that like we keep giving the platform the power, but we're not realizing that like it's not it's us completely.
Exactly.
So that's where I guess the question comes up is how do we confront those issues if we have issues like addiction? Because addiction is a huge problem. Like
Right.
this is the way social media works with our brain is very similar in the way that drugs or sex work, where your brain releases dopamine, and so it
just
brings you
want more
pleasure.
and more.
It's like imagine someone that goes to like a gambling addiction. If they go to like a casino and they decide that they want to, use a slot machine. If they would never get money out of it, then they would never do it.
We almost have a gambling problem now.
We had to stop.
Yeah,
But anywho, back to the
it's very real. But if that's the case, then like, Instagram, social media, it wouldn't do the same thing. But they do it in a way where like they want to give you that dopamine release. They want you to enjoy it. So every time you get on the platform, it is exciting. Whether it be seeing how many likes you get, seeing how many comments you're going to get on this next photo, did you gain any new followers, or what kind of posts am I going to see out there today? Those kind of things. It definitely can be a problem for us. So how do we kind of navigate the cons of social media, and then even ask ourselves, do the cons outweigh the pros of social media? Should we be using social media?
I think one thing where you can find the the root of the problem is in how uncomfortable and how bad we are at being like silent and being still in our society and in our culture, because it's so much easier, I guess, and it's so much more comfortable to just have all of these things like stimulating our brain, like looking at these posts, like literally like mindlessly, just like scrolling and like, that's funny. And then 2 hours go by or it's like on YouTube and you're like, I just watched 3.5 hours of YouTube, and it's like,
do you guys know what the average amount of time is on social media on different platforms?
No, please tell me.
Take a guess. What are you guys' guesses?
for which one?
For a day?
Go with Instagram
I
Like for
say
a day?
Instagram is 5 hours.
for a day.
I'm going to do
Okay.
7.
Okay. Oh my gosh. Whoa. That's almost your entire day. This is average, remember? This is average of like everybody. Yeah.
I'm going to do 4.5.
4.5.
No. Yeah.
Okay. That's your Instagram guess?
Yeah.
What is your Facebook guess?
Oh, God.
That depends on how old you are.
Seriously.
If you're a mom or
I'll do,
Facebook mom.
I'm going to do 6 hours.
Nah, I'd say 2 hours for Facebook.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. The truth is, and this is actually going to blow your guys' mind because we might think that it is way higher, but the average person spends about 145 minutes on social media every day.
That's an hour and a half.
That's
2
2.5 hours. That's it.
My mouth is, I like literally was looking at you like, that's not what?
I'm kind of an idiot, so.
So that
crazy.
changes perspective.
Yeah.
We're only spending about 2.5 hours on it. But
So I don't have a problem.
remember that this is gauging like a bigger audience than just our demographic of like
Right.
18, 16, 15-year-olds to like 25-year-olds. I think that our number is probably way higher. But that still is like between all platforms, Facebook actually takes the lead on the amount of time that people spend on their platforms and stuff. But we're still spending at least 2.5 hours on a platform each day where it's like, do we
It's
still
like
need
an
to be
entire
spending
movie that you're staring at your phone.
literally?
Well, and I know like you can put time restrictions on, and a lot of my friends actually have like that little thing that pops up and it's like, hey, like that's enough for today. But then you just hit ask for more time, or you just hit like, I'm going to keep going.
Yeah.
And
Why
I
you
think,
give somebody else the password?
right. Well, yeah, but even then when I'm with you, I undo it for you. And
Well,
I'm
yeah,
with you every
but-
single day.
Yeah, but I can't do it on my own. I have restrictions on all my social media.
But
or on
I'm
my
saying
YouTube.
it's just like hard when that's the goal is to not spend that much time. But then you know someone else can help you get on it, or you yourself have that power. So then you just say, please do it, instead of listening to it and being like, I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, even if you're in the middle of something, you're like, I'm done. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? It's so hard. And I'm not like criticizing you. I can't put a
Yeah,
time
you
limit.
probably need some restrictions on your phone.
Okay. Because I have fun with
It's true. It's literally just
it.
how it is.
Instagram stories. Listen, I'm good at it.
Here's the thing.
What does that
It's-
mean?
What do you mean?
You're good at it?
I'm good at what I do, and what I do.
She loves
Posting stories or going through stories?
Posting, that's
Oh, I thought you were talking
I
about
barely
like,
watch-
I'm really good at swiping through all my stories
No,
really
I
quick.
barely watch people's stories. I just love to post them.
That's
'Cause-
something that, okay, just a bunny rabbit trail real quick. I find it so obnoxious when I see people on social media literally just flying through their stories. Like, it's like, why didn't you watch them? I thought you wanted to keep up with your friends. They just do it to get it
I
out of
watched
the
like
way.
7 people.
They literally do it to get clear of it, but they'll literally
Yeah.
just swipe all the way through, and then it's done. And it's like, you didn't see anything that was actually happening in all those people's lives.
Right.
What are you doing?
Right.
Okay, back to the normal topic. With social media, and let's say that that's our average consumption, but for each of us, it could be a lot different. It could be a lot higher. Some of us, it could be a lot lower. It just depends on our age group, because the older you get, typically spend less time on it. If you have a job and you have a family and you have responsibilities, you just don't have the time to get on it as much as you want to. But for us in our age, I'm sure we spend a lot more time on social media than we should. So I just want to pick your guys' brain on how long you guys think we should be on social media for.
I really can't wait on this one.
I don't know if there's necessarily a correct answer.
Is that still giving Instagram power though?
What do you mean?
If you like put a time limit on it, like you can't just put your phone down and not.
Well, you have to you use the things that
Well-
are available to you to help if
Oh,
you're
okay.
struggling with
Social media does have power. Like
Yeah,
the way
it's
that they
addictive.
do it, it wires your brain.
Okay.
So like you do need something that's going to help you like get sucked back out of the
Okay,
void
okay,
that you
okay,
get
okay,
like right into. But when it comes to things like, oh, I struggle with anxiety or I struggle with like pornography and those
That's
things,
you.
that's on you for the accounts that you follow. It's like
Okay.
you should follow probably more Christian accounts like Ask Us Why.
Well, Connor, how much time?
Plug.
Good plug. How much time do you think?
Here's the thing. There's always going to be extremes to this answer. Like if you struggle with comparison, you struggle with, lust or anything like that. It's like, you should probably just get rid of your social media in general.
Yeah.
Like, why, if you continue to struggle with these things, would you just continue to drag yourself along in those ways? But some people don't want to give that up. And so if there's a correct answer to how much time you should be spending on those things, it depends on your situation. It depends on what you're struggling with. It depends on your strength of your will in those things.
Yeah.
But I think if you're spending time on your social media just to waste time, or just because you don't want to spend time doing other things, or because you're simply bored,
Yeah.
then it's like, nah, you should
feel
probably
called
get out
out.
of there, because we're so bad with silence. Like, how often can you sit and in prayer listen to God? Like, not
Yeah.
even like talk, but just listen and like not want to reach over and grab your phone and look at something. Or how often do you every single morning, like myself included, wake up, first thing I do is check my email, check ESPN, check Instagram, and it's like, when do I actually get to my Bible?
Yeah.
So it's like different for everybody, but the priority should be the same.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I have a question.
Yeah. Ask it.
Hear me out. You both, I would obviously want both your opinions, but I'm interested to see if it's different. So, like a girl, because typically girls struggle with comparison and insecurity more. If we struggle with those things, should we just delete Instagram, or should we stop letting it give that power, like have that power over us, and just continue what we're doing? Can we unfollow certain people? What would you say to someone that was like, I struggle with insecurity, but I want to delete Instagram because I really do love it, and like I love keeping in touch with my friends? What would you say to that person?
I'd say there's always other ways to keep in touch with your friends.
Okay.
Like if they have a phone, they have a phone number.
Okay.
Like it might be different. You might have to use, if they're in a different country, you might have to use like WhatsApp or whatever.
So
but
would you tell them to delete the app?
if they deem it necessary, I'm not going to be the one to
Oh, okay.
pull the trigger on those things, because I don't know exactly what's going on in their head. I don't know how to the degree they struggle. Like that person's always going to be the one to make that decision, not somebody else.
Well, then Remy, do you have a weigh in on that too?
Well, when it comes to like dealing with insecurities, obviously like Instagram might not help depending on like, cause you could just be following your friends, but
Right.
you just struggle with comparison where all of your friends just seem so much more prettier than you.
They're
or
all
they
getting
seem-
married, and you're like, what the?
all getting married, want to get into a relationship, they're going on adventures, you start
Right.
comparing, you start hating your life because you're like, I feel like I live a really boring life. It's like, okay, well, if that's the case, then you do have an insecurity that you do need to deal with. But I don't think that getting rid of Instagram is going to solve it. That might be like a part of the equation, but actually like reaching out and getting help is the number one way you're going to do that. So that's reaching out to friends that you trust, that are wise, that
Right.
have like a biblical worldview. It could be a pastor, it could be a mentor, a leader, spiritual leader, someone in your life of that sort that like you need to confront and talk to them about. But when it comes to like battle and when you have to like face those kind of things, like running away from them isn't going to solve them. Because if you have a problem with social media and comparing people, like if you think that you are going to just solve that problem by getting rid of your social media and then getting back on it later and it just comes back up again, it's like you didn't really solve the problem.
Right.
So if you can face it front on while you're working through it, then I think that's a really good way to do it.
Okay, follow-up question.
Okay.
And your answers might be the same. But now let's say, since I dragged the girls through the mud, a boy, because typically boys struggle with lust.
Big time.
And mega big time. And
No. Nuh-uh.
shut up.
Boys don't do that. Sorry.
Anywho, what would you say to a guy who struggles with lust but refuses, or maybe isn't refusing, doesn't want to get off Instagram because they're like, well, it's like not that much, and it's just like every now and again, like whatever they're saying, like it's probably
Yeah.
not that big of a deal.
Right.
It's just during certain times in their life or certain things that happen in the day. And they're like, well, it's like once a month. So do I really need to get off it? Like, I don't follow these accounts. I'm not like seeking it out. It's just like sometimes. Like, what would you say to that guy? Would you say the same thing of like, you need to seek help?
Well, yeah, like most importantly, it's a matter of the accounts that you follow. So it's like whatever accounts you're following that's causing you to stumble in these ways or even cause these thoughts, like get rid of it. If you have a really bad problem where like at this point, literally just looking at a girl just in the yoga pants,
Oh my God.
you can't even like last in that or something like that, then yeah, you need to get rid of the platform for a little bit because you need to be able to like come back to the Lord and find your strength in Him.
Yeah.
But then it really does boil down to like realizing that Instagram is not going to be like the reason for this sin. Like this sin is coming from your heart. It's coming from
You're
a
just
lack of
using it for
self-control.
that.
Right. So I would tell anybody that like really struggles with something that like obviously like get rid of it if it's causing you to sin right away. Like if you think that you can just take it head on right away and keep the platform, you're probably just going to keep doing the sin that you have the problem with. Like it's not going to help. Like taking some kind of break can definitely help, but it doesn't like it shouldn't stop there. I think that's where there's the disconnect that we're trying to like get towards is that you don't just get rid of the platform because you're like, I just have a really hard time just seeing everyone else just having a really good life and I'm just going through a lot right now and it's not helping me. And it's like, okay, getting rid of the platform might help you a little bit, but it's not solving the problem that you have an issue of.
Right.
Because you got start hanging out with friends and they all start talking about how life is so good right now and oh, we just love being engaged, we're so excited to get married, and the guys over there just like, I literally hate my life, I'm still single, which is probably Christian. It's like,
Oh,
just
Christian,
kidding.
no.
So like the problem is still going to happen. So that's
Right.
where you have to take that next step beyond just getting rid of the platform in order to fix that problem.
Right.
But then the question goes back to, I think, like, why are you on social media? What is your purpose for it? Because if someone's refusing to get rid of social media, what is the purpose for that? Is it because you just want to stay connected with your
Well, I
friends?
feel like I'm missing out.
Missing out on what?
All the fun stuffs.
All the fun stuff that makes the insecurity worse?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think another like root problem we have to address is like maybe the reason that said girl or boy is struggling with insecurity or comparison or lust is they have to do a heart check of like, do I actually believe like the sin that I'm committing is truly a sin, and what does that mean? Because
Yeah.
sometimes I think we have these sins where we're like, yeah, I'll figure it out later, or it's like, this is not as bad as this other person that I know is dealing with this thing. And it's like, if we don't believe that all sin is death, then we're not going to take it seriously. And so
Yeah.
I think sometimes we're like, it's just Instagram. It's just sometimes I have this insecurity, or sometimes I have
This
lust
struggle.
problem. And it's like, okay, sometimes doesn't make it less death. Like,
Right.
this is truly something that like hurts God's heart. Like He wants us to repent of these things. And if we're not taking it seriously, obviously we're going to continue to struggle because we don't want to change, or we don't really have the motivation to make that change.
Right. Well, so to piggyback off of that, I think that to clarify that thought, we sometimes see like insecurity or comparison or lust or all those things. we don't necessarily see it as like we are sinning. We just see it as like a struggle we have, or like a battle we're dealing with.
Well, we name it a struggle.
Right. But then we don't realize that, like, no, you're sinning. Repent from it. So it's like, oh, turn away, versus like, oh, I'm going to take this battle on, like kind of working through it. I still kind of do it sometimes. It's like, no. When you repent, you're choosing not to do it anymore. And that's a mindset. Like, you can fight through that, and the Holy Spirit will give you strength to fight over those temptations. Like, the Lord always gives you a way out.
People don't see insecurity though, or like comparison, or like jealousy. I think they do, but insecurity specifically, they don't see it as a sin. Like, I know I did not think of it like that for a very long time, or even as a prideful thing. But what's hard about it is you almost see it as like something that God gave you.
Right.
Like, it's just like a human instinct, but human nature is sinful.
Right. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's why we need a mind shift, where we need to stop thinking about it as just something that we struggle with, but more like, no, you're sinning.
We need to fix it. Yeah.
So when we start to shift perspective and realize it that way, then I think that might help us with getting over it faster, versus being like, yeah, it's just a problem that I have sometimes. I got to work
this
through
little
it.
thing I like to do.
Yeah. So here's a kind of wrap up question for us, as we've kind of elaborated on the pros and the cons of social media, and kind of how to navigate it, if we should be using it or not. So if we are going to use our social media, what should we be using it for? What do you guys think is like good reasons for us to be on social media?
I think you look at most people's social medias, and you maybe know like 50 to 100 of those people, like they're your actual close friends.
Yeah.
The rest of those people, depending on how many people follow you or you follow them, they're just people you're acquainted with, or people you literally might not even know at all. And so I think what we should be using it for is, if you're a Christian, is very simple, like to proclaim the gospel, to proclaim the kingdom of God. And some people may not want to do that. Some people are like, well, this is my Instagram. Like, I don't want to make people uncomfortable. And it's like, you got to check your heart in that. If you're truly following Christ, like, your Instagram should not necessarily be about you.
Yeah.
At least not your priority, because your life is not necessarily about you. And so why would your Instagram be different than that? If your Instagram is the only way that some people see you, like those people that are your acquaintances or, not so close friends, like if they don't see you in person all the time, they don't know what you're actually about, then why would your Instagram be different than how you actually are in real life, and what your purpose is actually as a newborn Christian?
Yeah.
And so I think if people can see anything other than Christ in you and those things, there needs to be some repentance. And not to say that every single post or story or comment has to be about Jesus,
right,
but we should at least be thinking of those things.
Mm-hmm. Allie?
Ditto. I'm just kidding. Connor and I talked a lot about this, because I 100% agree, like, it should be to glorify the Lord and things, but I think, like, I'm agreeing with him. I don't really have much to add other than like build community and love people, but root that in Jesus's love, not like, oh girl, cute bikini thong thing, cute, go off. Like, that's not what I mean. I mean, like, glorify the Lord in you loving people.
Right.
But I would say, even with like you saying not everything has to be like a post about the Lord. Like, it doesn't have to, but I would encourage you to try to find God in every single thing you post. Like, if you're posting about me,
find God in me.
You could like post things like, I'm so thankful to the Lord for blessing me with like this vacation time, or this beautiful mountaintop. I don't know. Like, you can always find a way, because at the end of the day, your heart should always be seeing Jesus.
Glorify God in everything you do.
Yeah.
Is that like in the Bible?
1 Corinthians 10:31.
That's crazy.
So whatever you
It
do,
should
whether
be in
you
the
eat
Bible
or
if it's
drink,
not.
do it all for the glory of God.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, brother.
Period. That's my answer.
All right. That's pretty good. Yeah. I think there's so many benefits to like social media and ways that we can use it. Not only, I mean, yes, in everything we need to give glory to God, but like, you can use the platform to like share what's going on in your life. Like, tell people what's going down.
Putting Jeremiah 29:11 in your bio does not count as...
Yes. No, it does not.
No, that doesn't count. I'm just telling everyone right now. That's not.
Because the first thing they'll do is they'll see that, and then they'll look for the rest of your posts of like, are you like a big faith guy? Like, would you post about it a lot? But when you just post selfies, or like you feeling yourself and you just look good in this lighting, like, that doesn't really help. Doesn't really help the case. And this goes for guys too. I'm not trying to call out just girls. Literally, those are the examples that I thought of when I saw it. It's just guys. It's like, there's a couple of Christian influencers I've been looking at, and I'm like, you're not an influencer. Like, you have a story that says like Q&A for Jesus, and it has like 6 questions in it, but then the rest of your Instagram photos are just like, felt really cool on this roof, looking pretty dope. Figured I'd share this photo. Hope you guys have a great day. It's like, What?
The lighting at the gym was really good today. Got a good pump, you know?
Yeah. So there's so many benefits for what we could be using our social media for, but I think that like we need to seek clarity and guidance from the Lord on like how to use it properly.
Right.
Because we can do it as a platform. Like there's never been a time in history where we could share the gospel with so many people so easily. Never before. People 100 years ago would kill to be in our shoes. To be like, you're telling me that you could just post on your social media that Jesus loves you?
You don't have to walk all the way to freaking Jerusalem. I don't know.
100 years ago? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, 100 years ago, it didn't have cars.
100 years ago, it was all by mail. It was like, that was their only system. But it's like, you're telling me that like I can communicate a message to so many people. I could DM people and tell them about the love of Christ. They would be all over it. But nowadays we're just like, I don't know how to share Jesus with people. And it's like, well, you got an Instagram with like anywhere from like 400 plus followers on it. Like that's 400 people that you can witness to. 400 people you can tell about Jesus. Just share about the good news in your own life. And if you're not confident with doing that, then like you don't have to. It doesn't have to be every post, but like that's one way that we can use our platform.
And if you're
is to
not
do it for
comfortable with
ministry.
it, what's stopping you from getting comfortable with it? Like what's stopping you from practicing preaching the gospel or practicing telling people about your testimony? It's like that should never be our excuse. It's like, well, it makes me feel weird and I don't know how to. And it's like the Bible tells you exactly what to say.
Well, something I think you both are good at, and it's not an insult, it might sound like one, but neither one of you really care about offending people. Like you just don't. Like Remy, even like during a lot of political stuff, posted things that he believed, and like we all believe, but like he reposted things and he didn't care. He's like, I'm gonna get so much backlash for this. My wife might get backlash for this, but like, why would that stop me? You know what I mean? And I think it's a really good character trait to have and quality to have.
And it's not like you're seeking to offend people,
No.
but it's
Being
elevating the truth of Christ
Right.
over what people might think of you.
and being offended is a choice.
Mm-hmm.
Like taking offense is a choice. Like you don't have to let things offend you, which I'm really bad at because I'm really sensitive.
I think it's a big fear and insecurity of like being rejected or not knowing what to say. But
Right. I would just like to clarify though, when you said 100 years ago, I thought you meant 100 BC, and that's why I was like Jerusalem. No, I mean,
Jerusalem. Jerusalem. Yeah, but so to kind of conclude, we can use it to share Jesus. We can also do it to like share and celebrate with our friends and those around us. And that's, I think, a big thing that I really want to quickly touch on is that a lot of us struggle with jealousy and envy and seeing what other people are doing. They get a new job, they buy a new car, they get a house, they are going on an adventure.
You're just talking about your
whatever it
life.
is. Not true. I need to get out of this house. It's too small. But like we see those things and we might not think that we have jealousy, but one way that you can kind of see that is like but like not on the spectrum, kind of like a holy or unholy, like when it comes to boundaries and stuff, it's like how far can I go versus like how holy can I be? It's like, how much do we celebrate the success of others and those in our life? How much are we celebrating what they're doing and what they're accomplishing? Because we'll just kind of be like, yeah, good for you, like super awesome. You'll scroll through and whatever, but then you'll post about it and be like, yo, everyone celebrate me. Like I got this new job or whatever. And like maybe a few people will do it, but then you might be insecure and you're like, I feel like no one saw my post. And it's like, well, it's because you don't celebrate other people. Like you just want people to celebrate you. It's all about you. So like if we can change our perspective on our platform to be about celebrating others and encouraging them and like supporting them with whatever they're doing, then that's a great way to be using our
Or if
platforms.
you see a post and like it hurts you, like if you are in that place of being single and you see someone posting about they're getting engaged, or maybe you're in a relationship and these
Yeah.
people got engaged 3 months in dating and you've been dating for 3 years,
Yeah.
and you just get upset, I would encourage you to pray for them.
Yeah.
And not in like a, dear God, I pray that they have such a great marriage. Maybe it'll end. I don't know, divorce. Like not that, but like genuinely meaning what you're saying. Like I pray that this joy in this place that they're in right now continues, and they just
Yeah.
like are fruitful and they grow closer to you and blah, blah, blah. Because if you're praying for someone, it's really hard to hate them.
Yeah.
It just is.
Be true to that. So use our platform for good. Use it to give glory to God. And if you have problems with it, take a break from it, but realize that the problem is not Instagram. The
Yeah.
problem lies within our hearts. And we can only change those things if we bring with the feet of Jesus.
Amen, brother. Praise
And that
God.
is
Praise
social
the Lord.
media. That's all of it. We'll never have to talk about it again.
That's it.
Never again.
Don't ask any questions. If you do have any complaints or you have any issues, just go ahead and email me at connormedea@gmail.com. And
Yeah.
you guys can just let me know
Sounds
what's
good.
going on. And I'll totally respond to you in a
Once
very
I
calm and
figure
peaceful
out,
way.
yeah, how to.
Once he figures out
check
how
my
to
email.
open his PDF.
He was right before this episode. He was asking me how to eject a USB from his computer. Like, how do I do that?
It's like
There's not an eject. There's not a download button. There's not an eject
there's
button.
not a USB eject button on my keyboard. What
Wait, you
what the
really you
buttons?
didn't know you just pull it out?
No, you have to eject it safely.
Yeah, you have to eject it safely. If
Come
you pull
on,
it
I know
straight
these
out
things.
before, like you can damage the drive and whatever. I did that one time with
Yeah, now
an
you
SD
look like an
card
idiot.
and totally corrupted the entire thing. It was bad.
Oops, I did it again.
Oh god. All right. Well, thank you guys for being on the podcast. Not you guys.
Make
the
sure
people
to follow
that were
us all on
listening.
Instagram and comment how much you think we're really
Yeah,
cool.
spend like hours and hours and hours going through all of our Instagram stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
follow us all.
Follow us on Instagram at Ask Us Why with 2 Ys, or follow our new Instagram, which is Ask Us Why Shop, which is going to be where we're going to be posting a lot about our apparel and our new drop that's coming soon called the Roots Collection, which is pretty dope. And yeah, check out our website. We're about to have it redesigned and everything. It's going to be pretty dope. And stay tuned because we got tons of fun stuff coming for you guys. Subscribe to the podcast. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We do videos for it on there if you want to check it out too. So you can feel like you're in the room and you can look at Connor and
my stupid
his
face.
stupid face. Yeah. Then we can just, well, I think on our next podcast is about speaking encouragement into each other.
You guys are honestly so mean.
Very nice.
Just
okay,
kidding.
see you later.
Okay. Have a good day, you guys. We love you. Peace
Bye.
and blessings.
Okay.
Allie, are you going to say goodbye?
Oh, bye.
Bye.